Alright guys, I'm back for another review. The amazing zombie Blu-ray. This thing is packed full of stuff, but I will get to that later. It's slipcover. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the film. We've all seen the film. If you haven't seen the film, I'm sorry. Buy this now. What are you waiting for? I'm just going to go over the disc and what it looks like and all that great stuff. The picture quality, it's strange. It kind of varies. The beginning of the film, I was a little disappointed. It let's see. The detail was okay. The grain was there, which was not a problem. But it looked kind of washed out, and sort of. Apparently, I'm not the only one that thought this. A lot of felt that it was too bright. A lot of people are complaining that it felt it was too bright. Now, for me, that ended after a while, which seems to be the case with Blu-rays. I don't know if it's just because, you know, we're talking about high definition here, and why usually the beginning of films may not be so great, but as the movie goes on, it gets better and better. Maybe that's because, you know, the very beginning of the film is the one that gets messed with the most. Fed through the projector and whatnot. That makes sense to me. But as it went on, it got better and better. Colors obviously are going to be a little bit better when you get into the island with the green trees and the ocean and stuff like that. But details started getting better. The grain started to go away. And after a little bit, I didn't feel that the brightness was too much. I mean, they are on an island, of course. It's sunny. It's going to be bright. And overall, I'm very, very pleased with the transfer on this. It looks pretty good. I would say Torso looks better, but this still certainly looks really good. Especially when you're, comparing it to the other special edition of the film, the Shriek Show version, which, the Shriek Show version, the Anchor Bay version looked like hell. It was dark, it was grainy, you couldn't make out much. And then thankfully, Shriek Show came out with this, which was probably their last good release that I've seen, which was 2 discs. It cleaned up the film, it looked pretty good. But this certainly is the best this film is going to look for right now, until new technologies arise and we can do better. Right now, this is going to be the best you can get, and probably more impressive than the video is the audio. The soundtrack sounds amazing on this. It's a 7.1 DTS soundtrack, and man, it sounds good. The only thing that probably out of the soundtrack is the dialogue is a little flat, but the rest of it is really great. Now on to the meat and potatoes of this thing. These special features. This thing is loaded down special features. This is 2 discs, and both are Blu-ray. A lot of times you'll get 1 disc with Blu-ray. Disc 1 will be Blu-ray, disc 2 special features will be DVDs. These are both Blu-ray. Disc 1, you get an audio commentary with star Ian McCulloch and Diabolic magazine editor Jason Slater. Now, I think this one was taken from, I can't remember. This commentary is not new. It was either taken from a Laserdisc or from the old Anchor Bay version. I don't remember. But it's not new. Trailers, TV spots, radio spots, poster gallery, and a Guillermo del Toro introduction. Disc 2 is where we really get into the great stuff. First featurette on Disc 2 is called Zombie Wasteland. Yeah, that's right. You know I'm going to love this one because this was filmed at Cinema Wasteland. And it has interviews with Ian McCulloch, Richard Johnson, Al Cliver, and I am not even going to try to pronounce his name. Yeah, I'm not going to even try. But him, the guy that played the worm zombie. And, you know, I'm not just saying this because I am biased to Cinema Wasteland and I'm such a fan. Just the way they did this, it's sort of a commentary not only on, you know, some behind the scenes stuff, but just the fandom of the film. They filmed it during the zombie reunion at Wasteland, which is April 2010. And there's a ton of shots of the dealer room, a ton of shots. It actually opens up sort of Dawn of the Dead-esque with the sun rising over not the hotel, but the ice rink across the parking lot. And then, you know, it comes up on the hotel. And I knew that this was filmed at Wasteland, but I didn't know it was going to be so much footage of Wasteland. You get the lobby. Yeah, I recognize many people in, you know, the documentary. You get footage in the Q&A room, which unfortunately I was not at this Wasteland. This is one of the ones I missed because my son was being born. His due date was mid-month. So my girlfriend was 9 months pregnant. So that was strike one. Can't take a 9-month pregnant lady, you know, 4 to 5 hours in a car. If you don't know, pregnant women pee every 5 minutes. And they're extremely uncomfortable, especially at 9 months. She would have had a terrible time, so I was not going to drag her up there, being as uncomfortable as she would have been. Not to mention, you never know with babies. Sometimes they come out early. And no offense to Cleveland, but I did not want to have my son in a Cleveland hospital. So we did not go to this one. But if we had, I would be on this Blu Ray. Because I would have been in that Q&A, and the place that I stand every time to film and watch was empty. And they got a full shot of it. I stand on the wall and get sort of a side view so I can see everybody. And I would have been right there filming this right on the Blu Ray. But it's bittersweet. I have my son, so. But it really is very well done, and it's done by Red Shirt Pictures. Which a lot of the features on here are. Most of you have seen Red Shirt Pictures featurettes, who is headed by Michael Felcher. He used to work for Anchor Bay. He's at a lot of conventions. He's always at Wasteland. The interviews for this were done by Ultraviolet Magazine's Art Edinger. Art did another great job. And it's just very entertaining. It's sort of, it's not just interviews sitting, you know, in front of somebody as they talk. Ian McCulloch seemed a bit embarrassed, I guess, of maybe not the film, but I guess the movies he had done. He talks about the whole video nasty thing and being in London, and one of his friends, someone he knew, was actually one of the people that had to sit down and watch some of these movies and figure out if they were going to be banned or not. And he said, well, you're going to see me in 3 of them. He said, because I did 3 of them. And he said that the guy was just like so appalled. He was like, how could you, Ian? How could you? And I guess he was a little embarrassed. He felt bad. He seemed to be a bit not as happy to talk about this kind of stuff as the other guys. Everybody else seemed very happy to be there, very happy to talk about this stuff. Richard Johnson seemed happy. Poor Al Cliver, I don't know what is wrong with him, but he has something because he whispers the entire time, and you can tell he's struggling to talk and breathe. So it's kind of sad, especially because he's talking about, these are some of the first conventions he's done, and he was very, very surprised and very, very grateful by the fans and how they treated him and how he just wonderful it was, and he felt that these acting jobs, this acting when he was this age really meant something to somebody, so that made him very happy. So yeah, great featurette, the best one on the disc. And it's not just because I'm a Wastelander. It really is that good. Dead Time Stories, interviews with co-writers Eliza Briganti and Dardano Sacchetti. Flesh Eaters on Film, interview with co-producer Fabrizio De Angelis. I tell you, these Italian names really can tongue-tie you sometimes. World of the Dead, interviews with Sergio Salvati and production and costume designer Walter. Not even going to try. Zombie Italiano, interviews with special makeup effects artist Gianetto De Rossi, Maruzio something, and special effects artist Gino De Rossi. Notes on a Headstone, interview with composer Fabio Frizzi. All in the Family, interview with Antonello Fulci. And Zombie Lover, Guillermo del Toro talks about his love for the movie. That is separate from the intro. He does an intro and then he does a little 10-minute thing. So this thing is packed full of features. So this really is the ultimate zombie edition. You're not going to get any better than this for quite a long time, I would say. So, the once you get past the initial beginning of the film, it looks amazing. I still think that the torso probably looks a little better, but this still looks really, really good. It's the best you're going to get. It sounds great, full of features. So, if you're a zombie fan, which I'm guessing most of you are, you need to pick this up. This is as ultimate as you're going to get right now. So, zombie.